What is going on, all of you operator tactical wannabes, and of course, all you Elmer Fuds out there? Welcome to the Ghost and Clover Podcast. This is episode number 5. We're live right now on 3 separate YouTube channels, mine, Clover's, and the Ghost and Clover. If you're watching this in replay, then you're only going to be able to watch it in one spot. That is the Ghost and Clover YouTube channel. Obviously, if you're listening on podcast, you can listen to either one of our podcast platforms. We're going to be taking this audio and uploading it to both of our podcast platforms. So it is going to be fun tonight. We want to send a shout out real quick to all of the people out there that are watching live. Remember, the third segment of this podcast is driven and chosen by you, the audience. Now, it's really hard. All you got to do to be eligible to be picked or chosen out of the random chooser is to say something, anything. Say something in the chat, and you're automatically entered into the possibility of being chosen for the random viewer, I guess, segment, discussion, whatever you want to call it. Call it the segment. As you guys know, the Ghost and Clover Podcast is powered by our good friends at EAA, the European American Armory Corporation. You guys know that, Chase and Keith and Paul and all the guys, wonderful people over at EAA. You're probably familiar with their flagship product that they bring in, which is the Gerson line of firearms. You've got the Regard, which is the 92. You've got the P35, which is the high power. You've got the 1911s. You've got the 2311 Witness coming down the line here pretty soon. And right now, which is probably, we'll bring Clover here in a second, but it's probably, well, put it this way, it should be named the handgun of the year. The MC14T, the tip-up barrel. It is a phenomenal gun. You guys have seen a bunch of us cover it at NRAM when it was unleashed. Probably going to be named the handgun. If it's not, then something's gone wrong. But the handgun of the year. So go check out all of the phenomenal firearms over at EA Corp. They've got a little bit of everything for you. But like I said, their flagship is the Gerson line. We are going to, if you guys are new to the podcast, we're going to be talking random topics that Clover and I do not know what each other are going to be talking about. Clover's going to bring the first topic tonight. I'll bring the second one. And then, like I said, the third segment is a random topic from the audience. So without further ado, let's bring in Super Fud himself. What's up, man?
Hey, man, I'm sort of a big deal.
You are sort of a big deal, at least in Turkey, at least, you know.
Right. Man. It's been a long weekend, dude.
Yeah, it has.
Not in a bad way. It's been a long weekend. It's a good thing, I guess, for some folks. I guess depending on it could be bad.
Well, we had a golf tournament here at the course yesterday morning. First kind of big tournament of the year. It was for Combat Veterans Association. I was glad to have them out and all of that. Then we're busy. So this weekend here yesterday was the first day it hit 80 degrees all year. And then so it's all week it's going to be over 80 degrees. So everyone and their mother and their stepchilds came out and played golf this weekend. Great weather, so it was happy to see the course busy and all of that. You spent some time, getting some stuff done around the house, around the property, but you also went to go see a movie, did you not?
Oh yeah, we did. We
haven't talked about it. Is it good?
Yeah, I mean, we went to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and I won't give any spoilers, but if you're a fan of Guardians, then I think you would enjoy it. There was some ups and downs. There were some tearjerker moments, quite a few in that. It really was, yeah. Of course, as with all the Guardians, and one of the reasons I like those films is the soundtrack, is the music, and the final battle. No Sleep Till Brooklyn. That's all I'm going to say. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Anything Beastie's going to get me excited,
Yeah, but James Gunn, Kevin Feige. I mean, you can't hardly go wrong with James Gunn and Kevin Feige anyway. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I can't wait. We're going to probably go see that eventually. I was not into the Guardians of the Galaxy movies originally. I think my wife and daughter liked them a lot. Then I saw the first one. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. First of all, the first one,
Chris Pratt's hilarious.
he's great, but it might be the greatest soundtrack to any movie ever. Let's just be honest,
The soundtrack and then the comedy interweaved, and then, like I said, with this one, there was some tearjerker moment type spots in there too. So it was
which is relatively abnormal for the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. So
there you go.
Yeah. Go check it out if you haven't, or wait till it comes out on streaming. Either way,
streaming or whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess I got.
You got first topic tonight. Once again, guys, if you're new to the podcast, we do not know each other's topics beforehand, so this is new to everybody.
So last weekend, I've talked about this place a few times. It's called Hobbies, but I call it the bougie taco place.
Okay.
So, thinking about that a little bit, I'm like, let's talk Mexican food.
We can do that.
Now, we all know hashtag Tulsa Mexican food sucks.
Yep.
Everybody's heard the story about
it's a proven fact at this point.
Yeah. I mean, what Mexican food joint have you ever seen that serves white rice with a little bit of parsley in it? Like that was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I got to thinking about, and the thing with one thing different that did at the bougie taco place this go around. The last time we went kind of early in the day. It wasn't very busy, and one of the managers come by and had a conversation with him. We'd been there a couple of 3 times, maybe something like that. And yes, Lance, I am definitely bougie. And anyway, come by, had a great conversation with him. We'd been there a few times and told him, we like the place. And anyway, it asked what do we normally get and all this other stuff. And I just get like the 3 taco plate, and he said,
Sure.
Have you tried the hobby tacos? And I'm like, yeah, I don't like all the pico de gallo, like the way they're made. Like, it's just like, that doesn't intrigue me, man. And he's like, you should if nothing else, you should try the shells, the hobby they use on the hobby tacos. And I said, oh, really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, it's a flour shell that they deep fry, and it's sort of like a gordita.
Okay. All right.
And so we go in, and then the little waiter fella comes over, and I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. And I told him the story, and I said, that manager, I said, I don't know if he's here today, and unfortunately I don't remember his name. I said, but he says that I could substitute the hobby shells with the regular taco plate. And he's like, he's like, I don't think everybody's ever tried. I said, well, go back there. I said, I don't care about an upcharge. If you charge me for the hobby plate, whatever. I said, but that's what I want. I said, if they can't do it, do the normal plate. It's fine. But if you can do it. So anyway, he comes back about, 5 minutes later. He fills the drinks, and he says, hey, man, we got you taken care of. We got you covered. I'm like, sweet. OMG, dude. Like, oh, my God. Those were great tacos regardless. But, man, those shells just elevated it to like a whole other level. Like, that's definitely my plate now when it goes to the bougie taco joint. And it was really interesting. We were leaving, and the manager that we had talked to, it had been a month or 2 ago, maybe. It'd been a while. He was actually kind of out in the foray area as we were leaving. And my wife said, there's the guy. And I was like, oh, it was. And so I walked over and I said, hey, you probably don't remember. And he says, actually I do. He said, when I seen the order in the back that they wanted the hobby shells on the normal taco plate, he said, I figured that was you. I'm like, yep. He's like, what do you think? And I'm like, that should be on the menu, bro. Like, you should literally have a little deal underneath the thing that says, substitute the hobby shells or something. You guys should promote that, because they're off the freaking chain. So
they all remember the difficult customers,
Yeah, well, this is true. But I just got to thinking, like, where do people, I'm okay with taco trucks, right? Like, to me, Taco Bell's not Mexican food. That's Taco Bell, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, Taco Bell's good. for what it is. Run for the border late at night,
Oh
in
yeah.
a hurry, whatever. Like, yeah. But for me, um, taco trucks, right? Or taco shacks.
Yeah.
Sometimes around here you see them. And then, there's a few sit down places that are pretty good. I was just kind of curious where, maybe where people draw the line. I mean, I know a lot of people get really crazy and they want authentic Mexican
Sure.
food, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And so we throw a lot of shade and a lot of hate at the Tulsan Mexican food, and that stuff's absolute garbage. Um, but there's a variety, there's a spectrum to me of Mexican food. Like
Yeah.
I can handle it a bunch of different ways. Street tacos around here from a taco truck or something like that, probably the most authentic. Um, and then I'm trying to even think of the other things that they have there. I would know them if I seen them. But anyway, but I think those are probably the most authentic. Most of the sit down places tend to be Tex Mex, right?
Yeah, sure. For me, like this is gonna sound weird. There's two places that when I think Mexican food pop in my head immediately. The first one is down in San Antonio. I don't know if it's still there, but it's down there Riverwalk, and it was called when I was living down there. It was called the Original Mexican Restaurant,
Mhm.
and it's on the Riverwalk. It's phenomenal. It's kind of authentic Mexican food,
Yeah.
but you sit down and they have this little cart that comes over and make salsa, but then they'll make fresh guacamole right there. Like they peel the avocado, they do it all right there in front of you. So if you like guacamole, they make it fresh, like right in front of you, and it's amazing. This is gonna make you laugh. I'm not gonna lie, and you're gonna like, the best taco, the best tacos I've ever had in my life, ironically, are in Okinawa, Japan. There was a little taco stand slash shop right next to one of the clubs we always went to. And 2 or 3 in the morning. Then again, it was 2 or 3 in the morning. We might have partaken in some adult beverages, so that might have been one of the reasons. I don't know, but we'd always kind of go there and get some for the ride home back to base. And they were the greatest tacos I've ever had them to this day. And I think what made them different is they weren't exactly tacos. Like when you think tacos, you think taco meat, like ground beef. They were like taco seasoned, like fajita beef,
Hmm.
like sliced. And that was the base of it. And then it had, there's the lettuce and tomato and all that. And you put sour cream, whatever you wanted and all of that. But instead of the ground beef, it was like, now you could get the ground beef ones, but I always got the taco season, like fajita steak strips is the base, and it was just unbelievable. And you could get steak and chicken, you could get shrimp. I mean, you could get whatever. It was just, for me, that was great. But for me, like in general, I tell you, yeah, food trucks are pretty great. The street tacos that I don't know if you had, I don't think you did this year at Range Day at Shot. I got the street tacos from the taco truck, and they were actually pretty good. They were really good. I think you got one beef, one pork, and one chicken, I believe, and all three of them were phenomenal. I don't know. Did you get those or not?
I didn't get those. No,
Did
I
you
did
get the
not.
corn dog again?
I don't remember what I got. To be honest with you, it wasn't tacos.
Yeah.
But I remember.
I'm not trying to hijack your topic, but you brought up Taco Bell. I'm a Taco Bell fan.
Mhm.
So like when you go to Taco Bell,
I am too, but it's not Mexican food.
no. Yeah. No, but just real quick, just a sidetrack here. When you go to Taco Bell, what's your go-to order? Do you have like a standard order that you kind of get the same thing?
Oh God, man, we go to Taco Bell. I'll spend $20 plus on just myself, right?
No, back then you could feed a large family for $5. Not the case
Not
anymore.
anymore. No, and that's not a lot of food either. So it's $30 for my wife and I usually when we go. But to be fair, it's
Yeah.
not all eaten one sitting. So
Yeah.
you know what I
Oh,
mean? I mean,
sure.
I'll get stuff for later, throw in the fridge and whatever. Um, a couple of things come to mind real quick that's like must haves. One is
Okay.
a cheesy gordita crunch
Okay.
And I add a Doritos Locos taco shell,
Okay. All
as
right.
well
All right.
as nacho cheese.
Nice.
The next is, and this is a deal for anybody out there that is looking for, still looking for a deal at some place like Taco Bell where prices keep rising. The cheesy bean burrito, cheesy bean and rice burrito,
Yeah. Yeah.
is freaking phenomenal, and that thing's still a buck. It's still
Yeah.
$1,
Nice.
and it's phenomenal for $1. Like, you can't hardly beat that.
Yeah.
Cheesy rice and bean burrito. So those are two definite staples. And then I
So
think
that
this
might
last
make it
time,
order when
I got nacho fries. The nacho fries are still
nacho
around.
mama fries.
Yeah, and I got those. So what about you?
For me, my staples are always 3 soft taco supremes, no tomato, of course, and then a 5-layer burrito. I love their 5-layer burrito. They load it up with sour cream, and oh, it's so good.
My wife is a 7-layer burrito, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have to custom order that now. You have to
yeah. You do.
basically get a 5 and add to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the 5-layer burrito, and every now and then, if I'm hungry, I'll go with a nacho supreme. Pretty good little nacho supremes, perfect little size. My wife used to love what they call the oh, you said gorditas. I don't know if it was a gordita, it's a chalupa.
The
She used to
chalupas,
love it. She still gets a chalupa, but they changed the sauces over the years. And the original, when chalupas first came out, they had a couple of great sauces, but they've kind of messed it up with the sauces, I guess. But yeah, I'm a big, I'm a pretty simple guy. 3 soft taco supremes and a 5-layer burrito, and then maybe the nacho supreme every now and then.
Yeah. Now let me ask this, and
Yeah.
chime in out there in the live chat, and if you are in replay, by the way, chime in. You can hit us up in comments down below.
Yeah.
When you go to a sit down Mexican restaurant,
Yeah.
do you have a preference whether they bring out white corn chips or yellow corn chips? Because I do. Like, for me, thin white corn chips,
Yeah.
like hot, dripping with the grease, like hot,
Yeah.
are the bomb.
Yeah. I prefer the thin white chips. But the one that we go to typically is usually the yellow ones.
Yeah, those are
But
cheaper, I think, or something.
but they actually make them there.
Yeah.
So they're usually warm, like when you get them.
Yeah.
Nice bit of salt. The restaurant that we go to the most, for the longest time, for like 15 years, they still have the best queso, white cheese sauce, whatever you want to call it, I've ever had.
Queso Blanco, yeah.
Queso Blanco. But they had, for the longest time, they had a really good homemade salsa, a little kick to it. It was really, really good. In the last few years, I think that whether it's just easier or cheaper or what, that you can tell they've kind of gone to the canned salsa, and it's a little disappointing,
Right. Yeah. Stand on the taco or the tortilla side. You mentioned street tacos. So there is a little, it's a taco shack. I usually say the truck, but my wife knows what I mean, because it's not. It's not on wheels. It is a little shack.
Yeah, sure.
But it's drive up. There's like no other way to get it. And I always get the little white corn tortillas for my street tacos, and I even like those here at the house. I'll buy them. The little street tacos, you can get them. I don't remember Mission or whatever company makes them, but
Mission. Yep.
they're the little bitty ones, and you can eat like 50 of them in a sitting, I swear. But they're not very thick, and they're white corn, and they're delicious. So, are you a flour or a corn tortilla on your street tacos?
100%. I'm a flour tortilla guy.
Okay.
Anytime.
Okay.
Now, am I going to turn it down because it's a corn tortilla? No, but if I have the option, I'm much more of a flour tortilla. As a matter of fact, the street tacos that I had at Range Day were corn tortillas, and they were great. Like I said, I don't mind them at all, but I prefer flour tortillas.
Yeah. Yeah.
DG out there says Mexican food chat. You betcha. You betcha. We got about 3 minutes left in this one.
That was my topic. So, What about rice? I mean, we know that
Mhm.
white rice, screw that. That's ridiculous. But,
Yeah.
um, I find that there's one Mexican place that has been around here forever. In fact, it's called Little Mexico, and it's been around here forever.
Yeah.
And they have gotten to where over the last several years, anyway, they've shifted the way they do their rice, and I don't like it. Um, I like my Mexican rice to be a little on the dry side.
Yep. Same here.
And the reason is I mix
Yeah.
that with
Like
a little bit of
almost.
queso and a little bit of
Yep.
beans.
Yep.
And it's almost like a, yeah, rice and beans type thing, right?
Yeah.
And theirs is almost like a sticky rice that
Mm.
they've changed. And they did that, I don't know, 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, maybe even longer than that. But I just can't. I don't. I'll eat it, but you know, I don't prefer it over a drier rice.
Yep. Mexican for the Mexican food, Mexican rice. Yeah, I prefer drier, kind of flakier, if you will,
Yeah, yeah,
rice. Now, one of my favorite things to do is when I get like fajitas, and they bring over like this extra thing. It's got sour cream and it's got pico de gallo. It's got guacamole, rice, beans, lettuce, all that stuff for the fajitas. I always don't eat all of that stuff intentionally with the fajitas, because then I'll have the beans and rice and lettuce, some sour cream and some avocado and some guacamole, and I'll mix that all up and eat it. Oh, it's phenomenal. But yeah, I kind of mix it up, but just the rice in general, for Mexican food, obviously I like a little drier, kind of flakier rice for sure.
right.
Yeah.
Before we jump to yours, we got to pay some bills. We got to talk about
Yeah.
EAA a little more. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, looking forward. You mentioned that MC14T,
Yeah.
and man, I've got a lot of questions on the
Oh
on
man.
that NRAM video. Really looking forward to getting that in my hands, hopefully, and playing around with it, and maybe even it replacing, taking up a spot in my EDC rotation. The
Well, you are
cheetah,
a 380. You are a 380 carry guy, so that'd be right.
yeah, and the cheetah, my Beretta cheetah's in trouble with that one.
Oh,
It's gonna be interesting. Um, but also, it worries me a bit. I mean, we have to hit on and harp on that, the Witness 2311, because
yeah,
it's Gerson and EAA are just cranking out so much good stuff. It seems like so quickly
yeah,
that we had the 2311 that basically launched at SHOT Show.
yep,
NRA rolls around, and then you got the MC14T, and it's almost like people are forgetting that the Witness 2311 is coming along, and man, where you're talking about the whatever barrel lengths, and they've got them from what I think 4 or something all the way up to 6, or
it's,
maybe even
it's
three and a
six.
half all the way up to 6.
I think 3.5 all the way to 6 and
Yeah,
multiple calibers, and yeah.
yeah. Definitely need to be paying attention to that at the price point and
Is
everything.
is it possible? Is it possible that EAA could come in first and second for handgun of the year? It's possible this year, honestly.
I guess it could be, yeah. And the year's not over. We don't know what's
Oh no,
we
no,
don't
it's
know
not.
what's happening. We don't know what's coming down the line. I mean, we do.
Yeah, we do, and
But
it's a lot.
yeah, yeah. And all obviously plans for the future.
Yeah,
And it's really cool. One of the things that I always harp on and talk about is how, you have these import companies, and it's one thing to start a company and get with get all the proper licensing and permission from the government. Yuck. Um, and then contact some foreign companies and start bringing things into the country. Like, that's one thing.
yeah.
But to actually make regular trips to the factories, to actually
Like,
have
yeah,
input into the
yeah,
designs and all the things that EAA is doing, it really speaks. There's some people that want to talk trash about foreign made stuff, and I would tend to agree with them in a lot of cases,
yeah,
because you're talking about foreign made stuff that companies just bringing in and flipping it. Basically, there's no
yeah.
real input. But with EAA, and particularly the Gerson line of firearms, there is tons of input coming from people that really do have their pulse on the U.S. market.
Absolutely. Yeah, they and before we move on, we always say we always want to welcome the crowd out there. We thank you for always supporting my channel, always supporting Clover's channel. But we also, ask you to go and support our sponsors, whether it's EAA or Taurus or whoever's sponsoring. Go support them. Not saying you have to go buy their guns, but if you're interested in their guns or you have one of their guns, go check them out on social media or on a YouTube video and just put it, hey, thank you so much for all you're doing, but thank you for supporting Ghost and Clover and all that, and let them know that we appreciate them more than they know. I think they know how much you and I appreciate them, but it's always nice to hear and all of that. We do want to send out our public service announcement for tonight. No crayons or Lucky Charms are being harmed during the recording of this podcast, just for the PETA people out there,
And also, if you're out there listening, don't forget to chime into the chat, because the third segment is the viewer-driven or viewer-suggested topic.
Yep.
And if you chime in the chat, you've got a chance to pick that topic. So just, make sure you say hey or something.
Anything.
So you're up, man, I guess.
I am up. All right. I had several of them that I've been thinking about. I even solicited some help from Yoko to say, I said, hey, you got 3 minutes, find a random topic, and she was worthless. She wanted to talk about how husbands seem to have selective hearing when they're listening to their wives.
There's nothing that's no debate. We know that there's science backs that up. So
I disagree with that, but I really wasn't paying attention, so I really don't know exactly what it's
right.
So tonight, holy cow, I don't know, man. I feel sorry. Christian out there says, I learned a lot from you all. Man, if you're learning from us, then you got some serious problems.
It took him about 30 seconds to learn everything I know. So
yeah.
He didn't spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so my topic tonight, this might give a little bit of a rash to Clover, but I think he's into this enough. It is sport movies. Favorite sports movies. By the way, we have a little fun chat that several of us are involved in. Last night was one of the most epic things ever. There was about 4 or 5 of us having about an hour-long conversation in this chat. And the only thing we could use to talk was either lines or titles of basically 80s and 90s country music songs. It was a blast, by the way.
Oh, it went back further than that, but yeah.
No, that was the initial. We wanted to start with 80s and 90s, and then it went. I even brought up some 50s and some Hank Williams Sr. stuff. So yeah, it went way back. That was really fun. So let's kind of start out. Maybe let's go like a top three favorite sports movies, or let's do this first. Let's do this. What's your favorite? We can do like by sport, like football, baseball, basketball. Okay. Do you have a top 3 altogether sports movies?
All I can do is just go kind of off the top of my head.
Sure.
Basically, and pick 3, right? And when I pick 3, man, they kind of run the gamut, right?
Yeah.
First of all, it's very tough to pick 3. Hoosiers is up there.
Okay.
Remember the Titans is up there, and Moneyball is up there. If you're talking, really good films, right?
Absolutely.
Now, honorable mention if you're talking fun, obviously The Replacements, Major League, right?
Sure.
That type of stuff. But when somebody says favorite, movie, I'm thinking more serious side. So, yeah, Hoosiers, Moneyball, Remember the Titans.
Those are solid,
and that covers all 3 bases. No pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah, that's solid. I think if you ask my wife, she'd probably say Remember the Titans is probably her favorite sports movie. And it's a phenomenal movie. Like anytime it's on, that's one of those movies that like when it's on, doesn't matter if it's just starting or it's only got half an hour left, you're watching it, right? That's a great one. For me, Moneyball in the last several years just watched it a couple nights ago. I'm a baseball guy, diehard baseball guy. To me, I'm in love with the romanticism of baseball. I've always been at baseball. It's just been my passion my whole life. Where I talk about other people and they look at me weird, but there's something about like the smell of like freshly like mowed grass and hot dogs and nachos and I don't know, just something about a ballpark, man. It's where I love to be. So Moneyball has definitely gone up there in my list. It's probably a top 5. I don't know if it's cracked my top 3. Hoosiers is by far my number 1 sports movie. By far, Hoosiers is number 1. I would probably have to say there is a great movie. And we talked about this one time about me not being a Brad Pitt fan. And then I started thinking about all the movies that I like, and a lot of them have Brad Pitt. And I was like, damn it, I guess I'm a Brad Pitt fan, Kevin Costner's the same way. Kevin Costner is great in sports movies. Tin Cup, for instance, is a great one. It's not my top 3.
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah.
Yeah. Bull Durham, phenomenal movie. And he's a big baseball guy too. Maybe that's why I kind of like Kevin Costner.
Field of Dreams, right?
Is great. Yes. But there's one called For the Love of the Game.
Oh,
and
yes.
It is an outstanding movie. And if you're a baseball person, For the Love of the Game is a great one. I'd probably say my top 3, Hoosiers number 1. I'm probably gonna say Caddyshack number 2. And then I'm probably gonna go, man, it's a tie. I think I have to put a tie. And I think you give me another year and Moneyball takes it. I want to say Moneyball and For the Love of the Game are tied for 3rd, but Moneyball's probably going to take over. There were just some great lines in that movie as well. No more stealing. That's what you paid for. No, I paid to get on first, not to get thrown out at second. Just little subtle lines that are great. Field of Dreams is a great movie, Cal. I don't know. There's something about it. Like half the movie's phenomenal. The other half of it's just slow,
Yeah, a lot of them out there, I can't disagree with. League of Their Own,
League of Their Own. Now, replace. Obviously, you're a fan of that because you wore Shane Falco's jersey at NRAM.
Yeah, we've got Jerry Maguire, good one.
Yep.
Water Boy, obviously. Dodgeball, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
is Dodgeball a sports movie? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's Dodgeball. It's
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
It's the same thing. I mean, Talladega Nights, that's racing. So I mean,
is Rocky or the Rocky movies?
Rocky's boxing. I think it counts. I think the Rocky films count.
Yeah, that brings a whole slew of them in, then, doesn't it?
It really does. There's really a lot when you think about it. Secretariat is horse racing, right? Racing Stripes.
Was Racing Stripes great movie. Yeah. What about Cool Runnings?
Cool Runnings would absolutely be a sports movie. I think.
No, I'm not saying it would be a top movie, but it is a sports movie. Yeah.
Feel the rhythm, feel the ride. Yep.
What was that movie back in the 90s or late 80s about beach volleyball? St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos.
I thought
Side Out. What a terrible movie.
I thought you were talking about the scene in Top Gun. I think so. No, that don't count.
No, yeah. Days of Thunder.
That's Thunder. Cool. Oh my God, great lines in Days of Thunder too.
It's a great movie. Let me ask you about this one. It's a golf movie.
How could you not know about a race car? He said, "You asked me to drive. I got the car. I
drive. Yeah.
Like there's nothing stock about a stock car. I love that's the best line ever.
Yeah. There's nothing stock about a stock car. Now, G says that Ghost has to like golf moves or he gets fired. That's fair.
Fair
there's a movie that it's a golf movie. Was not a great golf movie, but it was a pretty good movie. And The Legend of Bagger Vance. Did you ever see that one?
I never
Probably
did.
not.
I never did.
Well, Matt Damon was a golfer, and Will Smith was his caddy, and it was a serious movie, but it was a pretty good movie. Pretty good movie.
Golf movie. Tin Cup is up there for me. There's really two. Only two that come to mind as far as golf movies for me.
Yeah,
Tin Cup, which I love. Tin Cup.
Tin Cup's great.
Driving Range Pro. Checks are signed by a stripper. I mean, my God, like
chilling at Waffle House,
Oh my God, sitting on the porch, drinking beer, betting on the bug light. Like, oh my God, it's just wonderful. And that and Happy Gilmore, like that's pretty much it for golf for me. I can't.
Those
really
two got from Caddyshack.
Well, yep. I better take that back.
Caddyshack
I forgot about Caddyshack. Yeah, I
Wonderful.
forgot about Caddyshack, and you just mentioned it earlier. But yeah, you're right. You're right. So there's three.
Let's go. Okay, let's go. Basketball movies. Top 3 basketball.
Man, Hoosiers.
That's got to be number 1.
That's about all I can give you, I think, right now. You're trying to think, and as far as basketball,
what about Space Jam?
Really? Now the original, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, don't even bring up LeBron. Hell,
it's
no.
okay. Yeah, he don't need any more.
There was a movie back in the '90s, I think, with Shaq, and it was called Blue Chips.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah,
that was Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
What was that one that Ray Allen played? He played Jesus Shuttleworth. I can't remember the name of that movie though.
No, so that wasn't. Never mind.
I gotta figure this out. Ray Allen basketball movie. He got game. White Man Can't Jump.
That
absolutely. I would say Hoosiers.
Now that I'm thinking,
it's got to go number 2 now. Yeah.
There's so many movies. Like it's hard to. It's like hard. G-Web's out there throwing out Scooby meets the Harlem Globetrotters. That's
a good one.
That's legit.
That might be number 2 behind Hoosiers.
That's legit. Coach Carter, isn't that basketball?
Oh, Coach Carter. Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, there's my top 3. So you've got Hoosiers, White Men Can't Jump, and Coach Carter. That's my 3.
That's a solid 3.
Solid 3. Football.
Wow. One we forgot to mention, Rudy.
Yep. Great football movie.
Yeah. What is the one where true story walk on for the Philadelphia Eagles
with Mark Wahlberg?
Yes.
Oh man, what was the name of that?
And that was a true story, correct?
Yeah. That was absolutely a true story.
Yeah.
Oh man, what was the name of that?
Somebody out there probably.
Someone probably knows.
We'll know it. James says Joanna Man. Forgot about Joanna Man, but
I didn't.
It's
Invincible. I looked it up. It's called
Invincible. Yeah, Invincible.
Rudy's number 1. I don't know.
Remember the Titans is up there though, bro.
Oh, crap. I forgot about that one.
Much as I love Rudy, Remember the Titans is up there. So that's a 1-2. And I'm okay either way.
Did you like either one of the Longest Yard movies, the original or the remake?
Yes, I like both. Are decent. Yeah. And that's one we didn't mention, but yeah.
Did you ever see We Are Marshall?
Yes.
Great movie. Matthew McConaughey was great in that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to say my number 3, and I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, but, well, man, it's going to be tied for 3rd. Because one of them was a football movie. The other one's kind of a football movie. The Blind Side's kind of a football movie, but it's a great movie. But I'm not going to put that in there. Being a Texan, I got to go with Friday Night Lights.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have ever seen Friday Night Lights? If you're not a Texas guy, then you may not. Lance bringing up Waterboy. That's
what
definitely.
About okay? There's one. I'm trying to think. Oh my God, What the one with the whipped cream bikini? That's the sticking out of my mind. The one where
Would be good.
the Dawson's Creek kid was in it or something.
Oh, you're talking about
You know what I'm talking about. I can't think of it though off the top of my
yeah,
head. Varsity Blues. Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues. Yeah, Varsity
Varsity
Blues.
Blues.
Yeah, that's a
So,
good one.
oh man, kicking it old school. Um, I had the shirt
Northwest
made
one.
and ended up dumping the shirt. What am I thinking?
I don't know.
Scott Bakula.
Yeah. Oh, the North Texas one.
Dang
It
it.
was filmed at North. It was filmed at the University of North Texas.
Oh, that's killing me. That's gonna
Kathy
kill me.
Ireland was the kicker. Sinbad was in it. Oh crap!
Dang it.
Kathy,
Necessary roughness. Necessary roughness. Yeah.
is it unnecessary roughness? I think. Yeah.
No, it was necessary.
Was it? Oh, okay.
It was
That's right.
necessary roughness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That was a good one. That
Yep.
was a great one too.
So
Great.
yeah, on football. Yeah.
There you go. All right, that was fun, guys. I'm gonna give you a couple minutes here. Remember to be eligible. We're gonna draw here in a few minutes to be eligible for the crowd audience chosen random topic. All you have to do is say anything in the chat, and you are going to be entered. So just say anything in the chat, and you too could be chosen
Right.
to give us a random topic. And this segment is brought to you by our good friends over at Taurus. Taurus International or Taurus USA, whatever you want to call it. Taurus, our good friends over at Taurus. You know, they've been around for a long time. They had some success with their PT92s, with their 1911s. I've never owned one of them revolvers, but I hear people talking about the revolvers in very high esteem. Especially in their semi-auto, though, I will say in the last few years, starting with that G3 series, they've come a really, really, really long way. The G4 series is out. You've got the Taurus TX22 that people rave about. But the 1911s, the PT92, but the semi-auto stuff is really good. And like I said, I've never owned one, but I hear people talking about revolvers. Like when I remember a couple years ago, Clover, when I was going to think about getting my first revolver, and I kind of asked a lot of people out there, a lot of Taurus revolvers were things that people really, really suggested. So I know that you've got experience with Taurus revolvers and all of that, but Taurus has got some great stuff out there.
Yeah, I've still got a Taurus in the EDC lineup. So the Protector Poly in 38 Special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Phenomenal. And they don't make that one anymore. But they do make it, I think, in 357. And in hindsight, I kind of wish I would have
with it if they make it in 357. So
yeah. In hindsight, I kind of wish I had went 357. It really isn't any bigger frame size or anything like that. Not that I would have had to have shot 357 in it. Could have still shot 38, but I would have had that option. But now I've got something that's discontinued they don't make anymore, so that's kind of neat too. So but yeah, it's been a phenomenal, fun to shoot, just a phenomenal little revolver.
8-shot 357. DJ says my first revolver was a Taurus 1990.
Yeah. And don't forget, when we're talking about Taurus, you've also got Rossi and Heritage to throw in.
Yeah, this is true.
Well,
that's true. I forgot about that. Do you think Taurus will get into the shotgun game eventually?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they've been focused really heavily on handguns. I think they are likely to stay in that. With Taurus, you're talking about, again, a foreign entity, and when you're talking about a foreign entity, they're not susceptible to shaking things up too much. Now Calaveras said he thinks that a Taurus 44 would get good first revolver, and I hope that's a joke because I've got a 4-inch Taurus tracker in 44 with a ported barrel, and that's the most uncomfortable thing to shoot. I'll shoot my Ruger Red Hawk, Super Red Hawk 44 mag all day long over that Taurus. The Taurus will tear you up, and it's solid. It works, and it looks great, but it is a cylinder or two, and you're pretty much done for the day with that. You don't want to shoot that no more.
Right.
And it's the grip. I mean, if I changed the grip on it, I think I would be happier with it. But it's
Yeah.
a Taurus, and that's one of the things, right? Like you talk Glock, you talk Smith and Wesson, you talk some of these other brands, and there's tons and tons of aftermarket out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Taurus is one of them that it's really iffy as to whether or not you can find um, aftermarket stuff. But I would like to change the grips on that eventually and see if it makes a difference.
Interesting. Interesting. Um, let's bring up the random picker here, and
Let's do it.
let's see who's going to give us something weird to talk about. Now, obviously, there are certain subjects and certain avenues that we will not go down, but for the most part, yeah, it's going to be a question or a topic that you're going to bring up. So let's have some fun with it.
All right, here we go. Spin that wheel. If you're out there, no whammies. If you're out there, be on the ball because this DJ. So DJ is out there.
Why do I have a feel it's going to be something musical?
It could be movie related. He was throwing a lot of that around. So DJ
stuff out there.
DJ, you're out there. You are the random topic picker for tonight. So give us a random topic here, PDQ. Otherwise, we will draw again. So probably should have done that while we were talking about Taurus, but it's okay. We'll wait a
minute. We're still learning. This is our 5th rodeo, you know.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, we're still working.
Indoor versus outdoor music venues. Fantastic. I'll be with your own stories. 100%. Yes. You want to start? You want me to start?
Go ahead.
So I prefer outdoor music venues. I grew up going to the Dallas, called the Dallas Starplex Amphitheater. I don't know if you've ever been there, Clover, or not, but it was down there in Fair Park. It had a big one. It had another one out there, and almost close to Plano. There was another one. It was one of those things where you just brought your blankets and you chilled. Went to the very first Lollapalooza at the Dallas Amphitheater. There for all weekend. You paid back then it was like $25 for like all 3 days, and you basically just crashed and passed out, and you never had to worry about people stealing anything from you. It was just one big massive party. But I will say that the greatest thing, and I don't know if they're still doing, I doubt very seriously they are, but when I was growing up in the late 80s and early 90s, every Memorial Day weekend they had a 4-day bash. And it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And Friday night was always Steve Miller Band because he was from Dallas. So he kind of kicked off. Now, there were bands all day, but we're talking the headliners at night was Steve Miller Band on Friday night. Then you had Jimmy Buffett on Saturday night. Then you had Alabama on Sunday, and then Hank Williams always kind of closed it out on Monday. Hank Williams Jr., obviously. So it was a 4-day festival, and they did that for years and years. Those 4 people came to Dallas all the time for Memorial Day weekend, and talking about just throwing down your blanket for 4 days and just having an absolute blast. Now, I'm not against indoor arenas, but I am a big fan of outdoor venues, especially the ones that you can just, like an amphitheater, like you can just bring a blanket and chill. Now you're gonna laugh at me, and that's okay because I don't care. I will be in an outdoor amphitheater next month for a concert that my wife and daughter are going to, and you're gonna laugh at me, but I'm a big fan of theirs. I'm gonna go see Matchbox 20, and it's in an outdoor amphitheater, and I cannot wait for that. So I'm a huge outdoor venue guy.
So I like the idea of outdoor, of like, traditional stadium rock.
Sure, yeah.
But
sure.
I'll say 2 things about it real quick, and then move into something else. Is it really takes the right band to do that. There's very few to me that can put on a good show in an outdoor stadium. Yep. And I've never been to one that was a good show in an outdoor stadium. Like I would consider that, right?
Outdoor, the Cotton Bowl.
Like, they rocked the house. I've just never, and I've been to very few, right? But, yeah, I've never been to one. So, been to a ton of indoor.
Yeah.
Most memorable, the Judd's farewell tour was
Ooh, that's a
pretty
good one.
freaking awesome back in the day.
Yeah,
That
that's
was when,
good.
Mama Judd had to retire and they went on that farewell tour. So that was pretty good. And then one similar to what you were talking about would happen here was called Rock Fest, and it was
Okay.
every year. And it started at like 2 or something in the afternoon and would go until 1 or 2 in the morning. It was like 10, 12 hours of metal, basically.
Yeah.
And you would have, oh my God, uh, you would have Tesla, Rat, LA Guns, White Snake, a lot of hair band slash metal.
Yeah.
Trying to think of who all else that I've seen there, but I mean, just Great White,
Oh wow. Great
Def
one.
Leppard. Def Leppard played one year. Just it was insane, but it was 10 or 12 hours. Um, and interspersed within that, which is something that's always stood out to me, and I don't even know that they're still together. They're probably not. But if you like really hard rock slash metal, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't really know where you would classify it. Go check out a band, and like I said, I don't know if they're still around, but go
Mm,
check out a band called Dolly Braid.
never heard of.
And you're welcome. Yeah, probably a lot of people hadn't. They were a little local band, um, more or less. You know what I mean? Like small band, and I don't think they ever made it.
Yeah.
But holy Moses, like they played a few different years. They played Rock Fest,
Mhm.
and they were one of the better band. They were definitely to me one of the better no name bands that nobody knew about. But yeah, that Rock Fest every year. Really look forward to that. It was awesome. I mean, Scorpions, Quiet Riot, just all of those old school rockers were there. Now this was in the late '80s, early '90s, mid '90s, or something like that.
Can you spell that? DJ wants to know the
Dolly
spelling.
Braid, like a Dolly, Dolly, and then braid, like
Like a
braiding your
hair
hair.
braid. Okay.
Braid. I think DJ.
Mm,
If you put Dolly Braid the band or something in a
yeah.
search, I mean, you should be able to find it. One of their songs I can tell you for sure. The name of the song is What. So Dolly
Okay.
Braid What and a search and probably would pop up maybe.
Let's real quick to close this one out. Top 3 concerts that you've been to. Can you do that? I know it's stuff. I've been to hundreds of concerts.
So
I don't think I narrow it down to 3, but I'll try. But go ahead.
the Judge's farewell tour definitely was up there.
Yeah.
And you're talking about concerts, so I'm going to take Rock Fest completely out of the mix because that
Sure.
was a multi thing.
Yeah. I won't use
Um,
lose either. Yeah.
Man, this is crazy because I don't fancy myself, and I know it was crazy in that chat the other night with me
Yeah.
speaking in country music terms. A lot of people don't see me that way. But I like all kinds of music. It's gonna be probably 3 country,
Yeah.
and it's probably gonna be the Judds,
Okay.
Garth Brooks, and
Okay.
Chris Ledoux.
Chris Ledoux, I think, would be amazing. I never saw Chris Ledoux, so that'd be a
I
great
got
one.
to see Chris Ledoux 2 or 3 times. He would make the
Nice.
rodeo here.
I'd say he puts on a great country concert is Mark Chestnut. He's one of my favorites.
Mark Chestnut's a good one. I've
And
seen
I've
Mark
seen Brad
Chestnut. Yeah.
Paisley 3 or 4 times, and he puts on a phenomenal show. People don't realize how good of a guitar player Brad Paisley
Keith
is.
Urban is another one.
Keith Urban, Ricky Skaggs.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, my top 3, man, I don't know. Like, I've been to over 20 Buffett concerts. I've been to like 15 or 16 Beach Boys concerts, and they're all great. So I'm not going to put either one of those. I've been to so many.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. 1992 Octung Baby tour in Dallas, U2 at Texas Stadium was amazing. That was a great one. I will say that a concert my wife and I went to several years ago was Green Day, and they put on a show. They sang for 3.5 hours straight, no stopping. It was an incredible show. Definitely a top 5. I'd say it's probably a top 3 just because they went for 3.5 hours and it was just amazing. The third one is, man, I'm going to have to go country. and say that any of the Alabama concerts I've been to, they put on a great show. I've been to probably 10 of their concerts. I would say any of them because they're all great. So Alabama, U2, and Green Day are kind of sticking out in my mind as being just great shows.
So DJ out there throwing out his top three, and since
Yeah.
he suggested this, Prince, BB King, and the
I would have
Stones.
loved to have seen
And
Prince.
I am not jealous of any of those except for Prince. I'm definitely jealous of the Prince.
I'm not a Stones guy. I appreciate BB King. I would have loved to have seen Prince. Yeah. Now I did see Michael Jackson on the tour, the 84, 85, whatever Thriller tour that he went on with the Jacksons. I was at Texas Stadium for that.
So
I got to see that.
So I've seen a lot of I've been to a lot of concerts, some you know, up and comers, you know, and things like that.
Yeah.
And by far, any concerts I've ever seen, the worst, by far, hands down, bar none, David Allen Coe at the local rodeo arena. David Allen Coe, he was beyond drunk. And it was the most horrible experience ever.
Worst concert I've ever been to. Oh man, I've been to some bad ones. I'm trying to think if I've ever walked out of a concert. I don't remember ever walking out of a concert. I'd probably have to say the worst concert I've been to. Man, that's a tough one. So half of it was terrible. It really was disappointing. I went to go see Faith No More, Metallica, and Guns N' Roses in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Was that like 91, 92, whenever that was?
Yeah.
Faith No More was okay. I wasn't a huge fan. They were good though. Metallica, I think Metallica and Guns N' Roses kind of flipped on who was going to be the headliner each night because they were both equally as big. This is after the Black Album obviously came out, and so Metallica came on second, and they were really, really good. GNR, which is one of my all-time favorite bands, were supremely disappointing. And basically, his Axl was supremely disappointing. I think he was just way too drunk, maybe even on drugs and all that. It was really disappointing. That's probably the most disappointed I've ever been in a concert was Guns N' Roses. Now that was back in the early 90s. So that was kind of pissed me off. But yeah. Yep.
We can wind it down, I think.
We can, yeah. You want to go ahead and start your closing out?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say, go ahead and throw it out there and say thanks to, of course, EAA for powering the podcast and Taurus for kicking in on the viewer supplied topic. We would have that regardless, but it's great that they help out with that. Yeah, stuff coming up. I actually got, I don't want to say I'm caught up on stuff because I'm not, but I have gotten in a bit of a groove where I've got 2 or 3 videos in the bank right now. It's been a while since I've been that way. If you are a Patreon patron or a YouTube channel member, first of all, thank you. Second of all, you've already had access for stuff that it's going to be a few days or even a week before it releases. So one of the perks of being one of those fine crew members. So got some stuff coming out that, I can't really talk about. Did drop one Friday that I can talk about. If you haven't seen the one, and you got to be interested in Star Wars, and you got to be have a little fun and whatever, because it's certainly not firearm content. But got a package in the mail from Paul over at EAA, and so it's a little unboxing mail time that I dropped, and then. This week is the final week of the early 2023 season of the CloverTac Podcast. So should have Jeff with Gear Report Wednesday, and then Chase with the AA on Thursday. And maybe it's not an absolute confirmation, but we might have a special guest drop in on the very last episode on Thursday. So that's to be determined, but we may. But and then it'll be several months before we do the podcast, but pick up on the late season, I should say. But that's going to give me some time to get caught up because good Lord, it's 2023 has been a great year, man. Like all the way around, it's been just been a great year.
It really has. I'm still way behind. I've been crazy. It's just, yeah. Trust me, it's going to start flooding. You're going to get so sick of crap coming out of my channel. You're going to sit there and say, "Whoa!" Like, stop, slow down, breathe a little bit. But it's getting ready to happen for sure. Got a bunch of stuff that we just got to get done and want to get done. I got a new rifle over the weekend. I got the brand new Ranger, whatever gen this is, 308 AR-10 from our good friends over at Anderson came in.
Yeah, you do.
So
that come in. That did come in.
It did. It came in
nice.
Thursday, I think.
Nice.
And I haven't gotten a trigger pulled on it yet, but I can't wait to get that out and shoot a little bit with it. Got a bunch of stuff. Looking forward to it. I haven't been to the range since like February, early March, maybe, it's been a while. So I'm just looking forward to get out into the range and doing some stuff. So looking forward to that. So you got Jeff and Chase coming on this week. Wow, those could go horribly wrong.
They probably will. Yeah. That's why I said when we had Gabby. By the way, if you didn't listen to the podcast with Gabby, I'm surprised those numbers, and they could blow up and do well at any given time. We're less than a week out, but I'm surprised that the podcast with Gabby from last Wednesday didn't literally break the bank and break the matrix. It was amazing. She is an amazing guest.
Maybe it was early in the morning. I know her schedule's crazy busy. That might have been one of the things. I don't know.
Even in replay right now, right? But maybe people just got to get caught up. I mean, I get it, but I'm just saying, if you have not checked that out on the channel, you won't be disappointed by listening to that one. I guarantee you. And when that happened, when that was over, I'm like, well, that's the definitely the best, because the next two are not going to be Jeff and Chase are definitely not going to be the best podcasts of the season.
They're going to be great podcasts,
just
not
on that level.
Not on that level, and much different vibes for sure.
Yeah.
If you're looking for two consecutive train wrecks, this is the week for you, because both of them are going to bring the heat in a good way. They'll be very entertaining. Both those guys are great guys, and they both have warp/sick sense of humors, which could be interesting as well. So, for us, like I said, we're just plugging along, getting ready to start getting real busy at work, but a lot of cool things happening at work and a lot of cool things happening in life and on the YouTube stuff. So I'm looking forward to 2022. It's already been, like you said, a phenomenal 2023. I'm thinking that TriggerCon might be a thing in September, so I'm looking forward to that.
Good.
Looking forward to that, and then Wanamaker in November. We're going to have some friends of ours that are going to be coming to that usually don't coming. We'll announce that later, probably once we know that it's absolutely final. But some friends that are coming to Wanamaker this year, as far as manufacturers and companies that are going to be there, be kind of cool. Like you said, thank you to all of our patrons and YouTube channel members for always supporting us, and thank you to guys for supporting our sponsors as well. Obviously, these are companies that have a long history and a great history, so go check out EAA and Taurus and tell them Ghost and Clover sent you, and thank them for supporting what we do here. You got anything else to close out?
I don't, man. Pull the plug.
Pull the plug. We're going to get the hell out of here. Once again, no crayons or Lucky Charms were harmed recording this podcast. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Y'all stay safe. Take care.